You staring at that screen is going to be horrible. I think we can pull it up here.
What's wrong with horrible? Horrible's good.
I like horrible. How do I find your live on it?
That's right, we've got 3 watching. How you doing, guys? Danny D'Angelo.
Ahoy.
If my live sucks from my volume, go to the King of Laundry, Danny D'Angelo's YouTube. Oh, we're gonna get a second echo now.
I'll fix it.
There we go. Problem fixed.
But, so guys, make a comment on Chris's channel because that'll help us out so we can see. I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to pull it up and see it really well. Look at that iPhone. It's beautiful.
It's not bad. We're still trying to figure out the sound and whether you guys can hear us or not. Sound is very low. Yeah, it's because the camera's too far away.
Well, the sound is going to be low, 1,000 pardons. It kind of is, as they say, what it is. Danny's godlike. Well, looks like we've got my people coming over.
Well, if the sound sucks on mine, go to Danny's channel. It's a lot better because we've got the mics. Or we're just gonna have to yell. But we got 11 watching.
You can yell, just don't burn your channel down. All right, starting to stream. Did you put my channel on your channel so they know who the hell I am? I can put it over.
Go ahead.
I'll say something.
I've been waiting for this all day. There you go.
So guys, if you're watching, lovely Chris, g'day. You can go back to the top of the comments and you'll find I've commented, it's me, and then you can click. And that's only if you're not enjoying the audio because my cameras are a little better. He's traveled out to Phoenix. We're hanging out at the bunker and gonna have a hell of a lot of fun. Going live on my channel, here we go. Don't tell them words, Chris. Tell them, they already know who you are.
They already know who I am, so I guess I gotta boost your ego.
Not yet. Boost my ego when we're on my channel.
Yeah. But I am in Arizona. I believe we're in Cave Creek, which is north of Scottsdale. I'm starting to learn the Arizona area pretty well.
Yeah.
I took the long drive of 20 minutes from my hotel to visit Danny. He's been very polite to host me and very generous. I appreciate it. And we're just gonna, talk back and forth about laundromats, car washes, how we find them, how we acquire them, and
You sound nervous.
should we talk about, we're not gonna talk about how much money we make,
Yeah, we are.
Alright.
I have a way to put an interface over here so I can see my.
I am nervous, what do you mean?
It's
Of
only.
course I'm nervous.
It's only YouTube.
I'm sober, of course I'm nervous.
Oh man, we can fix that.
Okay.
All right, we're watching the live. We've muted it. We're getting all this figured out, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm going to try to make this. We don't even need to see that, do we?
Not really.
I don't think so.
We're just trying to figure out
All right, you're on the right side, and so, ooh, look what I did.
Pretty cool.
Okay, so there's your comments.
So think of some questions you want to ask either myself or Danny as we figure out the configuration. Because none of us are tech guys, we don't know what we're doing.
But this is good, it gets everybody on board. All right, there's my channel, there's my people saying words and things.
Are you live now?
I've been live.
Oh,
We're gonna have a fight here to see how many, not a physical fight.
I would love a physical fight.
No, thank you.
Alright, next time.
Guns, knives, 50 paces. So
All right.
there's your people.
So this is Car Wash Chronicle fans commenting, good.
Yep.
And then
there's
yours are here.
my people. But now we are all the same fans. We wanna get that out of the way. Everybody's gonna
Reunite.
meld. Meld?
Alright, so
Mel.
are we doing introductions or are we going to answer questions?
I don't care. I'm just glad it's all happening.
That is happening.
Check your watches. We're going to be here a while. So, welcome.
Thanks, Danny D.
Good
Appreciate it.
Why don't you go first?
Alright, so for those of you who don't know me, mainly Danny's channel, nice to meet you all. I'm Chris Atkins. I pretty much do what Danny does, but with car washes, specifically self-serve car washes. I have gotten my 3 for free. I haven't bought them for any purchase price whatsoever. And that's pretty much what I do.
I love how nervous you are.
I'm terrified.
It's cute. There's like 7 people, man.
7?
8.
I got 16, so I win.
You're winning. My people are slow, but they'll come in.
So yes, I live in Santa Monica, California, and I made the drive down here to see Danny and meet him after texting back and forth and figuring out what each other is about, and we click and we get along. So
Mostly nudes.
Mostly nude, yeah, little DPs. And he opened up his front door. I didn't kick it in, and he let me in. So here we are.
That's pretty good. So, welcome. This has been a long time coming. I first found, well, for Chris's channel, I am Danny D'Angelo, Cave Creek, Arizona, 51 years old, have, after 6 years in the world's finest Navy, really realized that it was time to start owning companies. I had some jobs, which stands for just over broke in my estimation, and even in the Navy, I looked around and I saw people giving me orders, and in my later workforce experience, I saw people telling me what to do, and I scratched my head and wondered, why are they in charge? What is really this work thing about? And would learn, would discover, would understand that owning the company is the way to go. And I think both Chris and I, from a very early age, realized that filling your head with knowledge in business is time well spent. You're here, and so I applaud each and every one of you for doing this. The #1 YouTube algorithm right now is business. How to do it, how to learn it, how to get into it. There's lots of hype, and oh my God, this thumbnail on this video is us holding a ton of cash, which we both do. And I applaud you for not watching Mr. Beast, he's great, or cat videos. I'm allergic, but you are here. So we really don't know each other in the sense that we have been, again, texting. We've never even spoken on the phone. And I wanted this video to have that pop, so looking out for you guys to where our interaction is very real and very raw and very new to both of us. But enough about us. I bought a laundromat. I always did well with the businesses that I own, and almost 20 years ago, I went out and made the mistake of purchasing a laundromat. I spent $250,000 on this business and would figure out in every way that I was wrong. I should not have purchased that business. And the preponderance of people in laundromats, I think right away, they figure out, okay, I was sold a bill of goods, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. To go back even further, most investors have never stepped foot in a laundromat. It's not something they do. Am I saying you need to know how to make a perfect steak to eat one? No, medium rare. But in order to own a steakhouse, you better understand business, how to purchase the meat, how to get the right chef, everything from the girls you hire to seat and host people, or otherwise you're not going to do well. Well, I didn't know anything about laundromats. It goes back to being a merchant teller in a bank, and this old dude used to bring in thousands and thousands of dollars in ones in, ironically, a laundry basket. And he owned coin laundries. And we knew that he was depositing just under $10,000 every time because he was trying to avoid the currency transaction report, which we both understand. Well, later in life, I'm almost 30 and I'm thinking I want to own some brick and mortar. Bought that laundromat. Well, I would figure out, unlike the people that immediately sell them and try to pawn off that business, I would figure out how to run it better, how to change just about everything about that store. But the real issue was the equipment. The equipment was aged. It was not really any longer viable. Because look, you can keep your 87 Toyota Corolla running forever, but you're not going to run a cab service. If it's in the shop every day, you can't be an Uber driver. My analogies aren't always 100%. I decided that I would make that store work. What did it take? A complete retool, all the equipment. So what did I buy? Nothing, other than the infrastructure that I scooped up in that location. Now, my next store would be free. Through what? A lease negotiation. I had to negotiate the lease on my first laundry. And so why would I do that after buying the business? It was an utter and complete mistake. An error in judgment. I didn't know any better. This is 2005, and I'll tell you what, there was no YouTube videos about laundromats. None. Zero. this particular moment, there's what, 16 channels about laundromats. Check the math. They all came out in 2019. That's another story for another time. I would end up building an empire of laundromats. I would end up doing that by scouting existing laundries. Here's the whole secret of how free laundromat works. Scout the stores, reach out to the landlord, not the operator trying to sell the business or failing miserably. I've got 700 YouTube videos on my channel. Sign a long-term lease, then retool the store using other people's money. That's it. There's a lot more to it. Of course, I have a course these days. I'm not here to sell you that. That's not the purpose of this. This is really getting to know what I hope to be a good friend. And that's where I'm at, and what I'm doing in life is really, really good. I have 3 daughters. I have a wife that I'm madly, passionately in love with, and life couldn't be better. The properties, the out-of-state penthouse in Mexico, the boats in the harbor, that's what I do. And I work for you. I also make those calls to landlords. I could chatter on forever, trust me, but I want to turn it over to Chris for folks on our channel. This is a crossover that's important to both of us.
Yeah.
When did you first find me? I really want to know that. And it's not all about me, but when did you first find me?
Well, first of all, I don't speak as eloquently as Danny does. He's a very good speaker. He's got the gift of the gab, as most people say. I do not, you know, I have to think about what I say. I have to pause and be like, so bear with me.
That's okay.
It's not a nervous thing, it's just me and who I am.
I love it.
So how did I first find out about you? You know what, I was living in Australia at the time. Obviously, I was born in Australia. I grew up in Australia, and I was there till the age of 25, I believe, 25 or 26. And, you know, my uncle Stuart, who a lot of my viewers know, my uncle.
Uncle Stu.
Uncle Stu. You know what, he should be here. He was going to come, but he had a big night last night, so I think he's going to lay by the pool. But yeah, he gave me the book Rich Dad Poor Dad at the age of 15, and that just completely changed my mindset about money. You know, it made me not want a job. It made me want to think about what assets to buy, and the whole Rich Dad philosophy is what I'm about now. Looking for assets that produce cash flow and income that you don't really need to work that much for it. So, you know, you go online and you start searching, you know, what's a good business, you know, what's a good passive income producing business. I'm sure we've all Googled that at some point in our life. And I did come across Danny D'Angelo at that time. He had the DVD, Cleaning Up in Laundromats. And being in Australia, I ordered it and he shipped it to me. So I think I was 17 at the time. And I watched it, you know, many times for many years. And the fact that I wanted to get out of Australia and move to America is kind of what took me from taking action on his advice, because if I got a laundromat in Australia, then I would be there and I would live the Australian life and that kind of stuff. So I didn't want anything to tie me to Australia. I wanted to pack my bags and move to America, where I believe there's a lot more opportunity. And you know, for my viewers who know, I got signed with the WWE as a wrestler.
What?
Yeah.
Like I said, I wanted to really talk to Chris for the first time. We haven't even had phone conversations, but he did let slip about the buying my DVD when he was 17, and that kind of blew my mind. So if you're out there and you're on these channels and you're watching and you're at that age, I really applaud you, because I don't know how the public school system is in Australia, but here, when I talk to my daughters about money, they're clueless. They just, there's no discussion about your fiscal IQ. You get a grade, and when you go to a bank to get a loan, I hate to tell you kids, but they're never going to say, let me see your report card. They are not going to ask if you went to college. They're going to look at your credit score. And if you don't have that fiscal IQ, you're in trouble. And I'll tell you what, I've said this many times. Poor people spend money. Middle class save it. And the rich, they invest it, even if it's not theirs. And we could get more into each and every one of those categories.
Yeah,
Feel free to interrupt or have a drink of water.
I don't want to be rude, but I mean, he literally just said exactly. This morning I was listening to Robert Kiyosaki speak at the Limitless Financial Seminar, it was a big 3-day weekend, and it was great, you know, just to surround yourself with like-minded people, because, as they say, birds of a feather flock together, and, you know, it's really who you surround yourself with, and you don't want to be the smartest person in the room, you know, you want to surround yourself with people who are smarter than you, people you can learn off, and just build up the team, you know, build up a team of lawyers, attorneys, and all that kind of stuff, accountants, so, you know, they have you back.
Feel free to ask questions, guys, because we do have both of our channels on the screens here. Between the two of us, we have 3 technical brain cells, so we were able to, maybe 4. We were able to, there must be 37 tits in that room.
Wait, what room?
I have a drum beat here somewhere.
Oh, even I heard that.
So you can keep in mind that the soundboard is phenomenal.
Cool.
Feel free to ask questions. We are getting together, and we're going to be in Vegas. We're going to talk about that as well a little bit later. I've done quite a few of these. I don't know what to call it. It's a round table. It's
Summit.
A summit.
Financial summit.
A financial summit. So we are not limiting this year to how many folks we can bring in. There's a link in the description to click and get out there to Vegas. So it's going to be me, Chris, obviously. He feels like he's some sort of an outsider, but we're going to get him into laundries. We've got Luke and Lee Williford, who have literally 40 stores in the Carolinas. Guys, you have no idea. That's Scarface money.
Yeah.
That's serious cash. When we're talking 40 stores and you're netting well over 10,000 a store, do the math. I mean, these guys are neck deep in the folding stuff, if you're into that. We've got a lot of the YouTubers, forgive my French, but a lot of the YouTubers that you know and love, that you follow. Finding Keenan will be there. We've got Brandon of Investment Joy. We've got Hot Dogging with Dan. The Chock full of quarters. Feel free to interrupt if I've forgotten anybody.
Like you said, I'm the outsider, and I appreciate you welcoming me into the Laundromat community, you know, being the car wash guy. But I'm sure a lot of people who are into laundromat businesses, I'm sure they're intrigued about car washes, because it's a very similar model. You know, they sell electric, gas, and water, like you always say, and we pretty much sell water and soap. You know, you want to come in with a dirty car and a pocket full of money and leave with a clean car and pockets.
Exactly right. Did I say 10,000 a year? Or that's, no, more like well over 10,000 a month. Serious wampum. There's been some folks that are doing these collection videos. By the way, Joe Dan Reed, I don't want to forget my very good friend, Splash 'em Out Laundries. Hey, Brandon's on the channel. He's actually watching here if you're an Investment Joy fan, so maybe we'll call him on the telly. We're on this thing and we don't have any agenda. I want you to understand, complete knucklehead. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But I have questions of you. So you're 33?
Correct. 33,
okay.
Yes.
And when did your family move here? How did you end up coming here from Australia?
So long story short, all my family's back in Australia except for one, Stuart, my uncle. He's been in Los Angeles for 27 years, and he just moved here because he woke up one day and said, I want to go live in America. So he did, and he did that, and that was his story. I came over to visit Stuart for 3 months. That's the longest I could stay on my visa, so I came over just to hang out with him. I loved America and wanted to be here, so as you might tell, hopefully you can tell, I work out. I enjoy going to the gym. So I was at the gym one day, and oh, look at the guns! So I was at the gym one day, and I got approached by a scout for the WWE, and they came up to me and they said,
I thought it was a porn scout.
Well, that was after, but he came up to me, he approached me and said, hey, what are you doing here in America? I said, you know, I'm just hanging out, you know, working out, not a whole lot.
There it was.
And
feel free, this is the drums, this is the wah.
Okay, cool. And basically he took my photo in the gym, he sent it to the WWE, and they invited me to Orlando, Florida for a tryout, which is where they have their performance center. So 6 weeks later, I went down there and did the tryout. There was about 45 people in the tryout, and they accepted about 6 of us, and I was one of them. So I packed up my life in Australia and moved to Orlando, Florida, to be the next John Cena and the next Rock or the Hulk Hogan. So that was my, I was 25 at the time, and that was my, I was a fan of WWE growing up, so it was like, wow, I'm living my dream. And that's how I got to America. They gave me the visa, I could stay, and I was living in Orlando, Florida. And then after 2 years of living out my dream in the WWE, obviously I didn't make it to the big time, otherwise I wouldn't be here sitting next to Benny.
Oh,
I'd probably be on a movie set somewhere, but I didn't quite make it to the big time, but I did, the whole WWE thing for 2 years, which was amazing. And after we parted ways, after 2 years, I moved to Los Angeles where Stuart was, and got in the car wash business, which he was in at the time. And that's pretty much it. I worked for him for 3 years. I learned the business, and then when the opportunity presented itself to become a car wash owner myself, operator. Then he doesn't like the word owner, but car wash operator, I jumped on board. I contacted the landlord of the shutdown car washes I found, signed a 20-year lease, renovated them, brought them back up, and the rest is history. So that's a short story of how I got here, with a lot of other fun stuff in between.
well, the fun stuff is what we want to hear about. I want to say again, feel free to ask questions, and also we apologize. The audio on Chris's channel is a little jank, and obviously we're in my offices. This is not a set. This is where I do all of my live landlord calls directly from my office here in Arizona, all over the world. And if the audio, we apologize, it's his iPhone.
Do you have a little microphone I could plug in?
I don't have anything that you could plug in. All I have are wireless. However, you can jump to my channel. I don't think you're going to hurt anybody's feelings. I did make a comment on his channel early on, and
What if I move mine here?
said hi. You can move it around. It's fine.
How's that for sound? Is that better?
No, now he's screaming. Anyway,
It's okay?
yeah. We understand that it's going to be a little bit difficult, and we're figuring it all out. Here, you have to go on here. So you can
Okay,
see.
yeah.
All right,
Question time?
we got Mr. Carbon Master. Could you make a video how to retain and maintain car wash employee videos at a non-self-serve car wash that's a hand wash where employees hand wash only? Hand is capitalized every time. I'm not sure why. Do you understand what he's saying?
Sorry, let me. Like I said, I'm a little.
Could you make a video?
Could you
That
make a
part
video?
makes sense.
Got it?
How to retain, maintain employees at a non-self-server car wash that's a hand wash where employees hand wash. All right, so do you have a hand wash joint? It sounds like you do. How do you maintain employee?
Well, no, actually, I don't. Again,
No, not you, this dude.
Oh, talking to him, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, mine are all self-serve.
I can answer how to keep employees.
Thanks, Brandon.
First of all, why do you want employees? In my entire, and look guys, this isn't a sales call. We're not here, either of us, to try to push you to any content or to one another's channel. We wanted to do this live and finally meet one another, but I do have a course about all of this, and when it comes to employees, I knew after my careers, after my life, I ran a private investigation firm with 12 employees. That was the biggest bane of my existence, running those human people. So I would say to you, my friend, don't make them partners, but give them something that's going to give them incentive. And this would go for any business. So give them an incentive to work harder. And I like to say this, everyone has to advertise. I don't care what your business is. If you're a landscaper, if you own a Fortune 100 company, if your janitor is downstairs sweeping the floors and he's not touting your company's greatness, you're going to lose. Everyone under that umbrella, everyone who's getting a check needs to help by getting the WOM out there, the WOM, the word of mouth. And that janitor, he's fired if he's not sweeping those floors while he's singing the praises of that Fortune 100 company. So I'll say to you, maybe I'm crazy, but I would give those folks I hear you saying you have a hand car wash joint, give them incentive and not pay them under the table, not give them a turkey at Thanksgiving, but those things are important. Restructure your business, and I'm asking, was it a large business? Is it a small business? Is this something where you pay taxes on? Because, look, my truck, it's got machine gun racks on it, and it doesn't fit in a car wash. So ironically here, my wife takes the Denali to the car wash, but I can't take my vehicle unless it's hand washed. Weekly, these guys, I'm sorry, every other week, these guys come to my house, they clean my truck in my driveway, and they leave. I Venmo them $75 every other week, and I'm thrilled. I forget when they're doing it. I go out there and the truck's clean and shiny, and I'm happy. So it's the way that I've structured that, and it works for them, and it works for me. So, hey, the $5 goes a long way, so thanks for jumping in. And that's gonna put you to the top of the list for the Q&A.
Yeah. And just to piggyback off what, I mean, everything Danny said is right. I mean, you want employees who are going to treat the business as though it's theirs. You know, the fact that they're absentee and we're not there to keep an eye on them. You know, my worker who runs all of my car washes, it has to be the right guy, because otherwise I will be able to tell from the revenue it's going to start going down, because, and you know, I check the cameras all the time. If it's really dirty or messy, I know he's not doing his job, so I'm going to have to look for someone else. So there's really no hide in, you know, I know you use contract attendees at your laundromats, whereas car washes, you could probably set it up that way, give them their own little space to detail cars.
There you go.
But
it's gonna be a pain in the neck at first, because everyone interviews well. Think about that. I'll say it again. Everyone interviews well. Everybody wants to get the job, but once they have it, once they're looking at the hourly rate or the paycheck, they start to fall apart.
Yeah.
The veneer cracks and the realities come forward. So, you know, 20 beautiful women don't want to marry Flava Flav.
that's a great
But
analogy.
thanks. But they want to win. They want to win a TV show. Okay, so they're there not to marry Flava Flav, but to win, and that's how people interview. So it's a lengthy thing, but I've talked to literally thousands of operators who own laundromats. I have never had one of them who doesn't have 20 stores and systems in place. I've never had one of them that says, yeah, I make money in my wash dry folder, my drop-off business. You've got a human person in there doing as little as possible for a paycheck. They're not like us. And I include every one of you that's on these channels. They're not entrepreneurs. I can't even spell entrepreneur, but I know, I know it starts with an I.
That's all you need to know.
So you've got these folks that are out there and they want to own businesses. You're giving them that opportunity, and hand them the keys to the store, but not the keys to the money. Let them do. And I'm astounded by this kid who watched my silly DVD when he's 17. Man, I've been around a long time.
When I was knee high to a grasshopper.
What did you? So you're doing basically the same thing with car washes in LA. So how does it work? What's the inception of it? Explain.
You get out, you drive around these streets, you scout car washes. Obviously, I like to find them completely run down, even, you know, or shut down. And then all I do is contact the landlord who owns the land, and, you know, whether that's putting a note under the door or going to the city, trying to get the phone number, and then contacting them and trying to make a deal. Hey man, you've got this closed down car wash, it's been sitting there for 5 years. Let me give you a rent check and give me the car wash for 20 years. You sign a 20-year lease, and then you renovate it, bring it up to par. For example, my first one on Main Street, it was shut down for 5 years. I contacted the landlord, and he was kind of looking for a tenant, so it was kind of a win-win. And we signed a 20-year lease. It was like 10 years and then 2 5-year options. And I renovated it. It was about $50,000 to renovate. You know, a lot of you will say, well, I don't have $50,000. Well, sometimes you got to get creative with financing. I was kind of lucky because I had it saved up after saving for many years, and I did use my own money, and it's come back probably 3 times over in the 2 years I've been open. So that's pretty much the method. Find, run down, shut down car washes, contact the landlord, sign a lease, renovate it, make it the best in the area, give them good high pressure, give a good product and lots of soap, and the customers will come. And you know, the best advertising for a car wash is visibility on the street. You know, it's going to be night and day whether it's going to make 15,000 a week or 3,000 a week. So
Do you do Yelp reviews? Are you online and doing all that?
not really. You know, I probably should.
Yeah, I see it. I'm gonna beat you up on that because I
Yeah.
see a gap there. We talked about the importance of advertising. You know, am I gonna go to Facebook for my car wash? No, I'm sure you're right that the preponderance of your folks are doing, it's street level value.
Visibility.
But what I would do is, what I talk to folks about the laundries is, Google, I'm gonna say laundromats, Google car washes near me, and make sure you're in the area. Obviously, it's not gonna work from here.
Yeah.
But see what comes up, and then whether it's Google, Yelp, or any other platform, you've gotta be there. So you know how I pick on this? Do you have a phone there? You wouldn't have a
phone at the car
you
wash?
would- I'm asking a question I know the answer to. I think that if you designate a telephone and pay a $38 a month bill, use the address there,
Yeah.
I think you will crush the competition, because Yelp and Google reviews, they link to a friggin' phone number.
Yeah.
They still do, they still have that old tech.
Yeah.
And most of the laundromats that myself and my thousands of successful students in almost all 50 states and 28 other countries, including Australia, little plug there,
Thank you.
I tell them you have to have a working phone number, even if it's not actually plugged into the wall and working. Of course, buy a phone, they still exist, and have an answering machine there, they still exist. I would say to you, link even your wireless number or a separate number, figure this out, how to link a contact number to the physical address, and watch the Yelp reviews, good, bad, or indifferent, at least you'll be there. Because
Yeah.
look, it's easy to pick somebody apart and say they're doing it wrong. It's a simple matter to go into a laundromat or a car wash and say, wow, this place is a wreck. But then figuring out how to change it, how to make it better, how to make it profitable, which is what we're all after, that's where the surgery comes in. So maybe if anything comes out of this, I would say figure out how to have a working, or at least a faux contact number there. Kaboom.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right. I mean, in the beginning, honestly, I did start a Yelp page. My wife helped me with that. We started the whole Google page with my phone number on there and everything. And we did get a bunch of reviews, and it's still up there. But we don't push it, which is something we should do. I started a whole Facebook page, an Instagram page. So we did do all of that, and whether that attributed to the growth of the business, I don't know. But
You have to. And then
Yeah.
you'll realize what works and what doesn't. And hell, I don't know, I would have a barbecue,
but
you
how
know?
can you tell if they're coming from Google or like? I mean,
You're gonna see your bottom line, you're gonna see the money go up, and it's not because it didn't rain that week or any outside forces, you know, it's like people ask me about sending out those flyers, the mail flyers, that they don't work. You can't tell.
that's
They
what I
have-
did. I made flyers and walked around the neighborhood and put them in the letterboxes.
Well, I think that,
Just because it was shut down for so long, I wanted
Yeah,
people to know
yeah.
it was back open.
but everybody washes their car, don't they? I mean, some
Absolutely,
don't.
especially in the high desert where it's windy and it blows sand and wind all over the cars. You know, they wash it 2-3 times a week to keep it clean.
Do you have any dirty tricks? Do you go drive around neighborhoods? Can you create a vehicle that just throws like sand and dust into the
Come
air?
on, I would never do that. Yeah, I mean,
Mr. Beast, if you're watching Mr. Beast, reach out.
who's that?
We're gonna make a video. He's like the biggest YouTuber ever. He spends $10 million.
Got him. I feel like I should answer some questions from my people.
You should answer some questions. Brandon of Investment Joy is here, and he's giving us his time.
What's up, Brandon?
He says that maybe we'll call him on the telly here in a minute when we run out of steam. You can still get a landline and forward it to a virtual number. Works super well. Oh, they can read that stuff. I don't need to read that to them. They can
Yeah,
say
they can read.
comments.
Come on, man.
What the hell is wrong with me?
Okay, well, Chris, Jesus, how you doing, man? Chris, how do you add new services and what structure required? In order to have customer spending more time at the bay by adding more services options. I'm surprised I read that right. So basically, how do you add more in-bay functions to keep the customer in the bay for longer? Well, you just order the parts. You know, you go to Clean Right, you order a 10 rotary switch. A lot of older car washes have an 8 selection rotary switch, so they're missing like the air dryers or the wax or the pre-soak or the tire cleaner or whatever it may be. And you go there, you order the rotary switch, you put that in the back of the faceplate. I don't know how to do that, but guess what? Someone else does. So I find out who does know how to do that, and I just get them in. They upgrade the car wash to give it that amount of functions, and then the customer's in the bay a lot longer. It's when I say that, I'm not ripping them off. It's not like, oh, I'm sucking them in to keep them in the bay longer. It's giving them options. You know, they have the tire cleaner there if they choose to use it. They have the pre-soak if they choose to use it. They have the air dry if they want. But you know, a car wash that doesn't have all those functions, if it's just got the two brushes, the soap brush and the high pressure, you know, gun that you wash the car with, if it's only got those two things, you know, they could probably wash the car or truck in 4 minutes, which is like maybe $2 per customer. But if you have all those different functions and options, customers will be more than happy to pay $5 or $6. So the average per customer will spend goes up, which ups your revenue and profit. And they love it, you know. They love grabbing the tire cleaner, and they love soaking the car in pre-soak before scrubbing it with the brush. So it's just making it the best product so that customers will go to yours over the other one. And honestly, I've had many customers say to me, we'll drive past 2 car washes to come to yours, and that's what you want, you know. You want repeat customers, you want them to have a great experience. You put your phone number on the door. If they have a bad experience or nothing works, they call you, you apologize, I'll be there tomorrow, meet me there at this time, I'll give you a refund and a free car wash, and you've made that customer come back opposed to going to the other car wash. So again, customer service.
What are all these fees? Brandon's saying that they paid salt trucks to run in the springtime and summer in Ohio. I don't know if I believe that, but good for you.
I believe you, Brandon, I believe you.
He's got the money for that. He's like the Mr. Beast of YouTube.
I'm surprised he's not mayor of Ohio right now.
I think that he could be mayor.
I think he should run, Brandon, I would vote.
It's not about him. So I'm gonna make a rule. My people on my channel ask about car washes, and your people need to ask about the silly laundry stuff. I'm fascinated by the WWE thing. So there's like lesser, there's like Formula 2, Formula 3. How does that work?
I've never heard of that before, but WWE, how does it work?
Yeah, like what I don't follow sports. I follow women, so I don't know that there's a minor league. I guess that's a better. You know, there's F3, Formula 3.
Okay,
Formula
I
1
got
is
it.
the top
I got it.
tier.
Well, for those WWE fans out there, you have the main roster, which is Raw and SmackDown. Have you heard of that?
Yes.
So you got Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown. That's the main event. When you get on there, you've kind of made it to the big time. People know you. You travel the world. You know, you perform live in front of an audience, in front of thousands. To get to that, you're in developmental, which is called NXT, which travels around Florida. It does local shows in front of about 300 to 500 people, and that's where you own your craft. That's where you try things. That's where you come up with a character and you see what works. You see what sticks and what doesn't. You come up with a name, and you pretty much create a Rock, an Undertaker, a Shawn Michaels, a Triple H. You know, you come up with a character.
So who was your guy? What did you do?
Oh, no, that was a different guy. You know what, I was kind of like the Australian, so I would come out in jeans, kind of torn up jeans, almost like the Outback guy. You know, I didn't really get a chance to really get it to its full potential. A lot of matches I just started out in black trunks and boots, and that was it. Like a Randy Orton almost, but you really have to be creative to come up with a character, and you know, I'm not that creative with nothing, but if you give me something, I can make it something kind of cool. But to come up with nothing from scratch is kind of, you know, I don't have that kind of mental capacity.
Are there any other Australian wrestlers?
Yeah, there's about 5 or 6, 6 or 7, 8 or 9. So there's a few Australian wrestlers. You know, it's all good, you know, getting the bright lights and the fame of it, you know, walking out and the fans are waiting for you and they take their photo and sign stuff. But then you have the other side of WWE, which is not to bash WWE. They brought me to America. I'm very grateful for everything they gave me. But you know, you got the backstage politics. You know, everyone wants to be the main event. Everyone wants to be the star of the show, and you know, they will do things and say things to the head coach, you know, behind your back to put you down and to raise themselves up. And I don't play those games. I'm a to your face kind of person, and I just don't play those political games. It's if you're good enough, you will rise to the top, I believe, and you know, others didn't play that game, so I guess I got, you know, held back a little bit. Plus, I got signed with little in-ring experience, opposed to other people who got signed with 20 years experience on the independent scene. So they came in and they were in the ring going boom, 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 jumping and high flying here, and I was like, okay, how do I do that? So I kind of got left behind, and it just didn't really work out, and then we parted ways after 2 years, and like I said, I moved to LA, so.
Is there video of this? I need to see video evidence.
There's one video on YouTube of me getting my butt kicked. I was a jobber, which is to make the other person look good.
Okay.
I was the new guy. I had to take the beat in. I had to pay my dues and do the job for the
Sure.
star, and that's the only one on YouTube. So
I'm interviewing him, and he's going to interview me with any questions he's got and anything you guys have. But he was also Dan Bilzerian's bodyguard for how long?
yeah, for those of you who know the king of Instagram, Dan Bilzerian, what an experience that was to be his personal bodyguard at all of his parties. You know, we went out many times, and we went to the Universal Studios with his ladies of his choice, and
What did he call his entourage? Did he have a special name for them?
the Ignite Girls.
Mm.
So yeah, you know, all those parties. It's the modern day Hugh Hefner of Playboy, but Ignite. It was those parties, you know, 40 guys of his close friends, and then 2,000 women show up to party in lingerie. So, you know, I saw it all. You know, I probably did about 15 of those parties over a couple of years, and yeah, that was another great experience.
Feel free to ask questions about Dan Bilzerian and
Yeah.
insider stuff.
Yeah, there's plenty
He's
out there.
signed lots of. Did you sign an NDA today?
For you?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're gonna go have some fun later and shoot a few pews. So, three car washes, and your Uncle Stu has how many?
He's got, I think, four now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are 3 car washes life-changing money?
Yeah. If they're the best and they're in a great area and on a busy road, yeah, absolutely.
So you're 33 years old.
Uh-huh.
You got 3 stores, and you you don't call them stores, all right? 3 locations,
Locations.
and pays the bills.
Pays the bills, pays more than the bills. My wife was a lawyer, but she didn't enjoy being a lawyer, so the car washers allowed her to quit her lawyer job, so you can imagine how much income that replaced. It allowed us to move from Westwood, for those familiar with the Los Angeles area, to an apartment which we didn't really like. We had crazy neighbors up above and all that kind of stuff, to a nice little, you know, it's nothing extravagant, to a nice little 1-bedroom cottage in Santa Monica, a few blocks from the beach. I mean, by no means, I'm still starting out on my journey. I'm 33, and you know, I'm nowhere near Danny's level, but I'm still starting out on my journey. You know, I don't have millions of dollars, but I feel financially free. You know, I don't have a 9 to 5. I don't have to be anywhere at a certain time. I go to the car washers once or maybe twice a week if I get bored, and that's pretty much it. You know, every other day I have time on my hands to go look for more car washers, make YouTube channels, and come to Arizona for 5 days, and go back to Los Angeles and have more money than when I left. You know, so they've really given me and my wife freedom to live the life that we want. You know.
What's the goal? How many stores do you go to the stores 1 day a week?
1 day a
What
week.
do you want me to the washes, the car washes? So he laughs at me for home stores. So you go to the car washes 1 day a week. Are you actively attacking more locations the other 6 days of the week? That's a no. You should.
Yeah, not the other 6 days. You know, maybe 1 day out of those days I will drive around down South Los Angeles or any area I choose which I'm comfortable to go to. You know, my car washes are about 1 hour and 45 minutes from where I live, so that's kind of my limit. you know, the drive can become a bit monotonous, especially in Los Angeles where traffic, it takes me 2 hours, you know, to go 100 miles, which it should take an hour and 20 minutes. But yeah, there's traffic, it can get to me. But the only reason I can go to my car washes once a week is because of an employee that runs them like I would personally. That's the only reason how I can do it.
Well, there's a callback to the other gentleman's question. How did you find this person and what makes them so good?
Just through a mutual friend. I had you know, I hired a lot of, I went through 3 other employees to get to this one. My uncle, he likes to hire homeless people. He likes to give them a job and do good for the community or whatnot. And, you know, some work out and some don't.
I'm grimacing over here because it's not a charity thing. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's the fact that there's a lot behind the homeless issue with that individual. You know, you and I will be driving down the highway and we'll say, hey, if I were homeless, I'd put a tent over there in the shade and I'd be right next to the lake. No, we call that camping. You know, the fact is there's a lot of deep-seated mental issues, drug abuse, alcohol abuse. There's a lot behind it, obviously. And I don't say, did Stu learn that lesson? Try saying that 3 times fast.
I mean, we're very good, you know, being in the security business for many years, you become a very good judgment of person. You know, we're not going to hire someone who's drug addicted, who does drugs. Just talking to them for 5 minutes, you can pretty much learn if they've got their head screwed on right and they're just in a bad situation. He hired this homeless woman and she's been the best thing that's ever been to him for the car washes, you know. She's running them for him while he's away here with me in Arizona. And without her, you know, he probably couldn't leave the car washes, just like my employee. But
what about a bikini car wash? Not the homeless lady in the bikini.
Yeah, you would.
Has it been done?
It's being done in music videos. I don't know about real life. I'm sure it has been, but you know, you would definitely get a certain niche of clientele to go get their cars washes. I think Danny would be first in line.
My wheels are always turning. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess you would charge a little more, but you know, yeah, it's.
San Diego Laundromats is this dude's name. How many total wash bays do you have, I guess, with all of your locations?
So I have 15 self-serve bays and 1 touchless automatic, which I just installed 2 months ago. I have another empty bay that I'm waiting to install, another touchless automatic, which I actually have the machine. I'm just waiting to spend the extra 50 grand to install it, which I'm kind of stalling on, but you know, I'll get around to it when I get around to it. No hurry.
My question, why don't you do stores closer to Santa Monica where you live?
Well, I would love to. I've spoken to a lot of the car wash owners in Santa Monica. There's only probably 3 or 4 self-serves in Santa Monica area, and they're doing great. You know, if they were to sell them, they'd want $500,000-600,000 for them. So that's why. They don't want to sell them, and if they did, they'd want a lot of money for them, which long term would be fine, would work out, you know. I know you are absolutely against purchasing laundromats. Car washes are different. You can purchase car washes and do very well. Stuart's bought many car washes for, you know, $100,000, $200,000. The, you know, seller finance, the previous operator carried the note. You know, he would just pay them off over 6-7 years. And, you know, he just paid off his recently. So, you know, it works in car washes. You can buy car washes and it works.
Well,
what do you think about that?
It works in laundries too. You know, you can go out, I don't care if you live in LA, New York, or anywhere in between. You can go out and buy a laundromat, sure. But I just don't see the necessity for it. You know, perhaps you have scoured the known universe in all of California and you're I assume you have your finger on the pulse of some stores that are about to go sideways that you are interested and intrigued by. And if you have that mindset, I'm just not going to buy the store at any price, then you can build that empire. You're learning that, you know, with 3 locations. And I've never had anyone, any of my clients come to me and say, well, there's no horrible, nasty, disgusting laundries. I'm gonna have to go buy one. It just doesn't really happen. And these locations, there's infrastructure and there's equipment. And the equipment, much like in the, I mean, you don't go into a car wash and find the brick and mortar literally is falling apart. It's there forever. It's brick and mortar, but all of the running water and the electricity and the way that it all connects together. I've seen the behind the scenes thanks to you and Brandon. That's what goes sideways, and folks see it as a cash cow, and they keep the store up like you do. You're young, you've got the inspiration. I just don't see the need, and you know, there's this. My website says I'm the most hated man in the laundry industry because it's not the folks that want to own the businesses or the people I'm working with. It's the industry itself, because they don't want me telling the truth. And I think you tell the truths of the car washes, what type of work is involved. You know, to say to someone that I can step out of my laundry the minute that I have it retooled and flip the sign to open and walk away, you know, 24 hours, right? That's those self-serve car washes. That's not even a question.
Yeah.
And those are questions that people have. Should I be 24/7? Should I even have employees? You can't run your business any more than I can without someone being there. You'll see if you take over one of your car washes and it's new to you and there's no attendant, you'll see that there's no $5 bills. They're all ones because people don't trust. You know, they're not going to put a $10 bill or certainly a 20 in the change machine. If they see a human person over there with an apron sweeping up, they go, well, I'll put this $20 in there because if I lose it, that dude's over there and he can reach in his pocket. It's the same with the laundromats.
Yeah. I see Brandon from Investment Joy. He said, what? I lost it.
What touchless system do you use?
The same as yours. I went with the Bellinger only because my bay was very narrow. I think it was like 13.5 feet wide, and all the other ones needed like 15 feet. So that was my only choice. And I didn't get the top end like you did. I got more of the basic one just because I'm not rich like you yet. But yeah, I got the Bellinger. And so far so good.
We should call Brandon on the telephone.
Uh-oh.
We should call Uncle Stu on the telephone.
Oh yeah. You want us to call Uncle Stuart? He might be,
2 sheets to the wind.
yeah.
Well, we know Brandon's sober.
Well, let me know when you get him on the phone. And hey, Chris, thank you for motivating us and drive us for success. You're welcome. It's I know what it's like to look for mentors, and glad I can help someone out.
Hi, buddy. Sadly, Chris can't really hear you because you're in my ear, but I can relay that.
What if I get close?
He said howdy. Where are you at? What are you doing?
G'day.
G'day. Why haven't you installed the new change machine yet? Hell yeah. I've got to get my ass to Ohio because we've got big plans. No, it is a big deal. You know what? You're a man of your word, and that means the world to me. You always have. You've always been a handshake guy. It's the way I was raised. It's the way that my superiors in the Navy talk to me and what I've learned in my life, and it means a lot. I'm getting my ass there in the next couple of weeks. And also, we're going to do a huge clickbaity thing. So everybody get ready for the new change machine and the clickbait, and Danny's going to bring the guns a-blazing. So you guys have a lot in common. You've got the laundry, and you've got the car. How many car washes do you have?
2. Better than none.
Do you follow Chris? Nice. It's good to know. Well, we're going to head to the range and bring Daniela with us, and yeah, he I don't know, Uncle Stu didn't show up, but there's that. Then we're going to have some cocktails. I'm going to make him my special whiskey cocktails, and then we're going to go have some steak. But first, no eggplant parm, dude. Yeah, Shelly's going to make some eggplant parm when I come out. I'm going to bring you some sandwiches. She enjoys it, trust me. Anybody want to ask any questions of Brandon? Feel free to jump on and type them out. We don't have thousands and thousands of people on our little. Daniela said something funny. I went live on my Instagram at the range the other day, and she said, "Dad, you don't have to feel bad because you had 7 people watching." She she said this, I saw someone that said, look, I've got 50 people watching my live, and you need to think about that when you turn around. Imagine if 50 people were there. So imagine if 48 people were sitting in my office right now. They'd be all crowded around us, and you know, it's great that 20, 25, 50 people take the time to tune in and enjoy it. And it's not all entertaining, it's the tidbits and getting to know one another. You know, in my private life, I guess, I will follow a lot of watch channels, and sometimes the drama gets out of control, and it's like you have to go back and realize, what do our kids watch these channels with people that have no entertaining value. They're just basically trying to befriend them. When I see that, I tell them, you need to hang out with your friends and go to Taco Bell. You know, you're pretty good at that too, to make them realize the universe doesn't live in that iPhone. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you in Vegas. You're going to bring the noise, and we have at least one helicopter pilot with us, so there might be some MMA fights, and we might just steal a chopper.
There you go, a couple of boys fans.
Everybody says Vegas is nuts, and what happens there stays there. You know, we're all a bunch of middle-aged idiots. No. Well, bail money, bro. Bail money. Bro, I appreciate you. I'm gonna text you and get a flight out to Ohio here next couple weeks. Deal. All right. See you soon.
Later.
Good eye.
Adios. So there you have it. I mean, my people couldn't listen to Brandon, but
Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't even think about that.
oh, that's fine. I think about my viewers.
Go over to my channel and you
Yeah.
can see exactly what Brandon had to say. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, again, if the sound sucks on mine, go to Danny's channel. It's much better. But
Sorry, kids.
I do want to answer a question. John asked how I know previous James Bond, George Lazenby. You heard of him?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Well, me and Stuart
He's got one film.
He did one film on Her Majesty's Secret Service. He's our best friend. We hang out with him pretty much every night, drinking and traveling the world with him. Stuart met him. Stuart was driving to the car washes one day, and his friend was at a bar, and his friend called him and said, "Guess who I'm at the bar with? George Lazenby. He played James Bond." So Stuart, being a James Bond fan, he drove around. He said, "Screw the car washes for today." He drove around and
Sorry, Lazenby.
and went to the bar, and they just hit it off. You know, obviously George is another Australian, so you know, we started hanging out every night with him, and we go to his house, and we went to New York with him. And George is a good guy. You know, he's got a big heart, and if you're not familiar with him, his documentary is on Hulu called Becoming Bond. I highly recommend it. Go check it out.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, look, we're gonna jump off. This was really important to us. We're gonna be doing some more collaborations together in the future. And for those of you that don't know me, on Chris's channel, great guy, stand-up dude, and those are the type of people that I want to associate myself with, honestly. And I'm excited that he's here. I was supposed to get to LA, so we're going to be doing that shortly. I'm going to talk him into high-end camera equipment and getting some of the audio stuff worked out on his channel. But it's great because if you've got a story to tell, you can grab your iPhone and you can become a YouTuber. And, you know, I've been on YouTube since 2006, never monetized, never really cared. For me, it wasn't about trying to make those clicks or make that money. It was about teaching and training and mentoring people in this laundromat thing. And now, having met a guy that at 17 years old followed that, watched that information, it's mind-blowing to me. I didn't even understand that. I didn't know that. And also, I can run my mouth at the bar, and he'll just, you know,
I'll suck him one.
take the
But
business.
yeah, I started my channel a year ago and it's doing pretty well, but I wish I started it. I didn't even think about it. I wish I started it when I first got my car washes, so I could show you guys the whole process of, you know, building it up from scratch, ordering the equipment, installing it all, painting the place, you know. I wish I did that, but unfortunately I didn't even think about it. But better late than never, right?
The next one, when you open the next store, you'll go from scratch. and
Exactly, exactly. Just got to get out there and find it.
Be able to do that.
With my Joey and my kangaroo and my boomerang.
Is wallaby an insult when I call you a wallaby?
Everything's an insult from you, but no, not at all. Not at all. I like being called all the names. I got thick skin, you know.
Precisely. Well, guys, Chris, Car Wash Chronicles, Mr. Atkins, good friend. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, kind
Follow
sir.
him on all the socials. We'll follow up with all the other stuff and things. And I'm going to talk Chris into making a course and allowing you to share in his knowledge. He doesn't have one now, but as it stands, I'm really, really empowered by the fact that this gentleman, who was halfway around the world where the toilets flush the opposite way, was able to learn and cull some information from me. And it really means a lot. I didn't even know till I met him today that he had done that at 17 years old. So it's kooky. Some of the things that I think had probably filtered through over the years, and some of the ways that he runs his business, so means the world to me. At 17 years old, if there's some young ones out there, make sure you email me direct, email Chris, and we're happy to help you out.
Yeah, and I mean, likewise, I mean, call Danny a mentor of mine from the age of 17. I watched his DVD many times, you know, at least once a year, you know, and yeah, he was a mentor, and to come to America and actually befriend him, get invited to his house and, you know, break some bread together, it's a true honor, and I really appreciate the invite, and it's been fun.
It hasn't even begun.
Dun, dun, dun.
That was good.
Yeah, I had to get it in before the end of the live, but yeah, I mean, I appreciate all you guys tuning in again. I'm working on my audio. I know it sucks. The last video sucked. I'm not a tech guy, but you know, it's gonna get better, I promise. So thank you all for coming and tuning in.
Good eye.
That's all, folks. So that's it. We're logging off.
That's it.
All right, guys. Thanks.